My name is Stephen Koski. I'm the lead pastor of First Presbyterian Church here in Bend and the president of the board of directors of Bethlehem Inn. So on behalf of the board, the staff, the residents of Bethlehem Inn, it's my absolute pleasure to welcome you to this year's Spotlight on Homelessness dinner, celebrating 25 years of helping people find their silver lining. You know, the truest measure of our compassion as individuals and as a community is really how we care for and treat the most vulnerable among us. Father Greg Boyle said, "Here is the kind of compassion that we seek. A compassion that can stand in awe at the weight the poor carry, rather than standing in judgment as to how they carry it." You know, as a country, it seems to me that we have lost the capacity to ask a foundational, fundamental question that is at the heart of empathy. What is it like to be someone else? What would it be like to live their story? There's a Native American proverb that says, before you judge, before you criticize, make sure you walk a mile in that person's moccasins. You know, I often hear people ask the question, you know, what do we do? What do we do about the homeless? And when I hear that question, it's almost like they're asking that question as if the homeless are a stain in the carpet to be removed, or an issue to be debated, or a problem to be solved, and not human beings, just like you and just like me. Human beings who deserve love and respect. No one chooses to be homeless. Roughly 90% of those considered homeless find themselves in that situation due to unforeseen circumstances. They're homeless for less than a year, needing support to get back on their feet. They certainly don't choose to be homeless. Roughly 10% are what is called the chronic homeless. Many, if not most, living with a mental illness. You know, a person struggling with schizophrenia, for example, doesn't choose to live with that devastating illness and deserves our mercy, our compassion, and not our judgment. Many who are homeless suffer from post-traumatic stress because of repeated traumatic events in their lives. Trauma is not a choice. Substance abuse and addiction is often a factor. And I hear people argue, well, that's a choice. But substance abuse is often an attempt to cope with devastating mental illness or trauma. You know, dealing with mental health issues and sobriety is hard enough when you're not living on the street. It's next to impossible when you're constantly judged and you lack support, stability, resources. And many experience shame because they would love to make other choices, but are caught in a cycle of poverty that keeps them trapped. No one chooses to be homeless. But we can always choose love. We can always choose empathy. Ernest Hemingway said, "The world breaks everyone. and afterward many are strong in the broken places. You know, if we're really honest with each other, the truth is that life breaks all of us at some point throughout our lives. You know, what we all share, even in this room, what we all share most in common is not our strength, is not our successes, but our vulnerability. The question shouldn't be, what do we do about the homeless? The question should always be, how can we be the kind of community that helps one another become stronger when life does break us? You might be familiar with the Japanese art form of kintsugi. And the word kintsugi translates as golden joinery. It's a method of repairing broken ceramics with a type of glue mixed with gold, silver, or platinum. And the aim is actually not to hide the brokenness or hide the repairs, but incorporate them. Incorporate them into a design that actually can be more beautiful than the original. And the philosophy behind kintsugi acknowledges that brokenness is part of the story. Recognizing that life breaks all of us in some way or another, and not something to be ashamed of or feel like you need to hide. You know, our culture worships perfection, tries to keep brokenness like hidden over there where we can't see it. Kintsugi acknowledges the brokenness and trusts that no matter how broken, with the right care, the pieces can be put back together into something more beautiful, something stronger in the broken places. Bethlehem Inn is celebrating 25 years of helping people find their silver lining, helping people put the broken pieces back together, always seeing the worth and dignity of each and every person, no matter how broken, and trusting that each person is their own silver lining. Each person can and will be stronger, more beautiful in the broken places with the right kind of support. People don't choose their brokenness, but we can always choose to be the compassion and the love that helps join the broken pieces together. And as a result, our community and our own lives become stronger and more beautiful. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for helping people find their silver lining. Thank you for choosing love. And this night would not be possible without the generosity of our sponsors. And I want to take a moment to thank all of the organizations and the people who make this event so successful. The generosity of our sponsors, and many like them, is really what makes this community what it is, makes this community so strong. So would you join me in thanking our presenting sponsor, Les Schwab Tires. And we would also like to thank our dessert, wine, venue, and lodging sponsors who made tonight possible. High Desert Chocolates, Wall Street Sweets, Good Drop Wine Shop, and Tetherow. With such incredible support from all of our sponsors who are acknowledged in our program, it means that every single dollar that is raised tonight will go directly to help serve our mission to transform lives together with shelter, help, and hope. So again, would you thank the generosity of our sponsors? And my table, being a pastor, they feared I would be up here for 30 minutes. So the good news is I'm done, but before I step off the stage, without further ado, we are so blessed with a visionary, compassionate, empathetic, and I must say absolutely fierce leader, always willing to fight for the more beautiful world that our hearts know is possible, and not just for some, but for all. So would you join me in welcoming the Executive Director of the Bethlehem Inn, Gwen Wisely.